Let's see if my microphone works. You are looking live at Sold Out Giants Stadium, where today the 15-0 New York Giants are taking on the 0-15 Washington Commanders. Why the Washington Commanders 0-15? Because they suck. And welcome to the Gridiron, people. Everybody out there, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You're going to spend a little bit of time with me, or anybody watching the replay of this, thank you so much. You guys absolutely freaking rock. I'm going to go about 30 minutes here. Anybody want to say anything, put anything in the chat at all, go right ahead. I'll try to answer it. I check back, every so often there to see if anybody puts anything in the chat. But once again, thank you so much for just spending a little bit of time of your day or night, whatever it might be with me. I greatly appreciate it. Well, as usual, we got quite a bit going on with the New York Football Giants here. They added some guys. They They got some guys off of waivers. They got another guy who used to be with good old Don Wink Martindale. Who was released, by the Ravens. All right, he was a vested veteran, so he didn't need to clear waivers. He was pretty much free agent, and he could go wherever he wanted, and he chose to go to the New York Football Giants. I'm sure because of Wink Martindale. Wink is very good at getting guys to come play for him. He's very, very good at that. From what I'm hearing. He's very good at that. So, and Giants have had three safeties. Okay, so this guy's a safety. We'll go over him in a little bit, but the Giants, because the Giants are thin. It's thin at safety. I mean, they got Xavier McKinney and Julian Love, but then the other guy they got is like Dane Belton. Okay, who is still coming back from a broken collarbone. All right, let's see here. And they added they added another guy with Jason Pinnock, from the Jets as well too. Okay, so they added two safeties today. But I believe the other one is on the practice squad. But there's a good chance he might wind up coming up and playing and all. So we'll have to wind up seeing. But, I mean, the Giants, they claimed 4 guys over waivers. They got a safety off of waivers. They got a safety. It was Tony Jefferson. He's the one that came from the Ravens. They picked up off of waiver wire 2 cornerbacks, and then they got themselves a guard who has ties to the Bills, from last year. All right. However, we'll start with him, Jack Anderson. I guess we'll go in alphabetical order here. Jack Anderson. He was the 7th round pick, 236 overall by the Buffalo Bills in the last year's draft, 2021 NFL draft. He was initially waived and then signed to the Bills practice squad following the 2021 the preseason. But he was signed off of the Bills practice squad by the Philadelphia Eagles. And that's the thing with the practice squad. You can have so many guys that you can protect. But then there's other guys, there's only so many guys you can protect. You can't put a whole bunch of them on there and protect them all and nobody can touch them. You can protect so many. And after the guys that aren't protected, the other teams can just come and pluck them off your practice squad. And that's what wound up happening. And so he wound up playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. They got pulled off the practice squad by the Eagles last September. He spent most of the season on the Eagles' active roster, but briefly landed on their injury reserve in November. He played 2 games last season for the Eagles. Let's see. Last year, they said that was the only season he played. He played a grand total of 81 snaps. He actually played 7 snaps against the Giants last season. All right. In week 16 when he was with the Eagles. Grand total 7 snaps, 7 run blocking snaps. Week 18, the final week of the season, Okay, well, week 18. He played against the Cowboys. He was the center. Okay, so that's good. We're getting some depth at center, but apparently he can play all three inside positions. Okay, which is good. I'm going to look at his college stats in just a second. But Daboll said he plays all three inside positions, so hopefully both guards and center. So I'll check that in a second. But week 18 last season against the Cowboys, he played 74 total snaps. Okay, so pretty much basically the whole game. Graded out at a 70.5 according to PFF. Pass block was 73.1. Run blocking 67.5. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. So let me see here. All right, 20. Let's see. Here we go. He was with the Texas Tech Red Raiders, the Air Raid, right? Whatever that's called, their offense. His final season, he graded out at a 78.8. His pass block was 86.2. All right, pass blocking. 459 pass blocking snaps. Okay, graded out at 86.2. Now, I mean, their offense is a little bit different, and the style of play. I mean, the players he went up against and all is going to be a little bit different, obviously, than the NFL, but that's not a bad grade, obviously. His run block grade was a 77.7 his senior season. Okay, so, not bad. Not too bad overall. He's going to, some much needed depth because the Giants got offensive linemen. They got a bunch of them. It seems like they just keep getting injured. All right. Anderson is big, 6'5", 315 pounds. Okay. Oh, actually, I forgot to do that. Hold on. Where are we at here? I forgot to look to see. Okay. His final season at Texas Tech, he played right guard. Last year, he suited up as center. Okay. So apparently he can play, I guess, all three positions, all three inside positions. So that's very, very good, especially at 6'5". Very good. Nice size, 315 pounds. From Texas Tech, has good strength and agility, as well as the versatility to back up the center position. He played a few snaps against the Giants last year and started at right guard before moving to center after Brett Toth tore his ACL for the Eagles against the Cowboys in Week 18. Anderson should be expected to add depth to the Giants' offensive interior. Absolutely. Another guy. Oh, hold on a second. I think my dog wants to. You hear his tail wagging. You hear his tail banging up against the furniture in the background. Another guy, Justin Lane. Okay, they got him. He's a cornerback. Okay, he's 24. He's a big cornerback, 6'2". Nice size, 192 pounds. Who was the third-round pick out of Michigan State by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 2019 NFL Draft. Okay, he played in 43 games, but no starts for the Steelers, with 41 total tackles, 1 fumble recovery. He has good length and solid movement skills for his length, which should allow him to play the press man coverage Martindale demands yes, absolutely. Lane's size and experience in Pittsburgh's aggressive secondary should let him fit into Wink Martindale's scheme and give the Giants more depth at outside corner. Oh, yeah. So we'll go here. Oh, there we go. Justin Lane. All right. Now, he's played 3 years. Okay. His first year with the all 3 seasons with the Steelers. Okay. He had played, apparently, according to PFF. That's all I'm going by here. Right. He had 2 defensive snaps. Okay. In 2019, his rookie season. 2020, he had 120 defensive snaps. And last season, defensive snaps, he had 29. 4 run defensive snaps and 25 in the pass coverage. Now, don't get too crazy. I mean, his grades were not really that good, okay? Last year, in only 29 snaps, he graded out of 40 overall, according to PFF. Not very good. 2020, when he had 120 snaps, okay, he graded out of 48. Once again, not very good. So, don't expect the world from him, but he was a former 3rd-round pick from the Steelers. So we'll see what he can do. But, I mean, because the Giants certainly need, if that nothing else, they need depth. And it looks like Justin Lane is going to fill that role at some depth. All right, then we're going to go to alphabetical order here. So we're going to go to, is that him? Nope, that's not him. There we go. Tony Jefferson. Now, he was waived by the Baltimore Ravens. Now, he's got a bunch of experience, boatload of experience, okay? He's had some very good, successful seasons in the NFL. But he's a vested veteran, so he didn't have to clear waivers. Basically, he became pretty much a free agent, and he's like, where am I going to go? I'm going to go see Wink. So the Giants just got themselves a veteran safety. I'm not saying, he's going to be absolutely super duper phenomenal, but he's had some good seasons in the past, a lot of veteran experience. All right. And not only that, but he's familiar with the Wink Martindale defensive system, which is huge. They'll have to teach him a few things or whatever, but I mean, he should have a decent portion of it pretty much under control. All right. So even if he starts as of right now on the practice squad, but let's see, 2013, he was with Arizona. Let's see. Oh, okay. He was undrafted free agent, 2013 from the Arizona Cardinals. He was from Oklahoma. All right. But let's see. 2013 to 2016 was with Arizona. Okay. 2017, 18, and 19. He was with Baltimore. He got hurt, missed 2020, missed a bunch of, I think he had like 4 knee operations or something like that. He had some trouble. Okay. But, 20, what do we got? 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. He played a lot of snaps. 2017, he played 1,084 defensive snaps. Okay. For the Ravens. Now, the seasons he played a lot of snaps, he graded out reasonably well. I mean, we're going back a few years, so don't get me wrong. But in 2016, he graded out at a 73.9. His run defense is a 90.9. 2017, when he went to Baltimore, he graded out at a 70.2. Okay. His run defense has always been very, very good. All right. 2018, he played 930 snaps to the Ravens. He graded out at a 71.2. His coverage grade was a 70.3. So, I mean, pretty good. Past couples, he had some, as I said, he's had coming off an injury and all and everything. So I'm not sure if that's one of the reasons why they let him go, because I'm sure if he was playing at the level he was playing at before he got injured, quite possibly he might still be with the Ravens. So we'll have to wind up waiting and see. But he's on the practice squad right now. Last year, he played 89 total snaps for the Ravens. Great. Okay, he graded out at 73.4. All right, not bad overall. Okay, and then week 10, he played. He was with the 49ers. Okay, so he was on 2 teams last year. He only played in 3 snaps, but very good veteran presence. So that's good. So the Giants got 2 safeties, 2 cornerbacks, and I guess an interior offensive lineman, which is huge. Very, very good. Very, very good. Very impressive. Okay, that's I'm not saying the talent level is going to be off the charts, but those are spots that they absolutely needed to get some depth, and that's what they got. So good for them. Good for them. All right. Then next, they got Nick McCloud. Okay, McCloud is another former Buffalo Bills player who was signed by the Bills as an undrafted free agent in 2021. McCloud was actually signed twice by the Bills last year. First on May 1st, then again on November 8th after he was waived by the Cincinnati Bengals practice squads. I mean, it's what a lot of these guys are. I mean, it's on the practice squad, and then they find somebody else that fits their team better, maybe at a different position, but they bring them in and let this guy go, and then somebody else picks him up, and he goes on. I mean, some of these guys are on, obviously 2, 3, 4 different teams in a season. It's just the way it is in the life in the NFL. But if you can play football and you stay in shape, they'll keep calling for you. So whether they ever make it to the final 53 or not, that who knows. But you got to stay in shape. McCloud is regarded as a very good athlete with good blend of height, 6'1", very nice for a cornerback, 193 pounds, and speed, 4.45 in the 40, 4.16 shorts in the short shuttle. However, his hip fluidity, which is not good, instincts were questioned in college. So you got to have those hips. You got to be able to flip those hips. All right, Nick McLeod, where are you? Right here. All right, Nick McLeod. Okay, so he's from my college. No, not that I went there, but my favorite college, Notre Dame. Undrafted free agent 2021 by the NFL, by the Buffalo Bills. Last year, he played a grand total of 14 snaps. Okay, 14 defensive snaps. At the left cornerback position, okay, he played one was a run defensive play, and the other one was he was in the pass coverage. In the 14 snaps, he graded out at 68.6. Okay, so obviously, very small sample size, but let's see here in college here. Let's see. In Notre Dame. Okay, Notre Dame, his last season, Notre Dame, he played right cornerback and left cornerback. Okay, so I guess he must have transferred from NC State because he played 4 years with NC State, and his last year he played with Notre Dame. So, all right, but decent. I mean, but if he only played in 14 snaps last year, there's usually a reason why. Okay. And then finally, we get Jason Pinnock. Okay. It isn't a surprise that the Giants claim the safety with only 2 healthy safeties on the roster. Well, they got Dane Belton, but he's not healthy. Hopefully, I guess they're kind of hoping that before week 1, because they didn't put him on injured reserve or anything. So I guess kind of hoping that he'll come back from that broken collarbone and be ready to rock and roll just in time for Derrick Henry they're going running through the defensive line and lower his head and try to take him on. So the Giants really, only had 3 safeties in the 53, the initial 53, but only 2 of them are healthy right now. So picking up Pinnock is huge. Let's see here. Pinnock was regarded as a stunning cut by the Jets, so that's good. That's because I heard about that. I was listening to that on somebody on YouTube was talking about that. Can't remember who it was, but they were talking about letting him go and the Giants picking him up. And reportedly seemed on track to be their 3rd safety. The former Pittsburgh safety has a great blend of size, 6 foot, 204 pounds, and athleticism, 4.49. Very good. For a safety, very good. In the 40-yard dash, 39.5-inch vertical, 4.1 in the short shuttle, 6.9 in the 3-cone drill. So he's fast and he's quickness, okay? He had received snaps with the Jets starters with LaMarcus Joyner injured and had started 3 games for the Jets at safety in 2021 after transitioning from cornerback. So, right? They also terminated the contracts of 4 of the vested players. Well, this is the Giants. I'll go over this in a bit here. But then we got Jason Pinnock. All right, here we go. Last year, okay, it was his first year. Okay, he was picked by the Jets last year in the 5th round. All right, he graded out at a 70.4 overall. He was in on 202 total defensive snaps. Okay. Pretty much the last 3 games of the season is when he played a lot. Okay, he played 71 snaps against Jacksonville last year. He graded out at an 80.1 at the free safety position. All right. Then the following week against Tampa Bay, he played in 50 defensive snaps, graded out at a 68.5. Final game of the season against Buffalo in Buffalo. All right. So, he was in the NFC, the AFC East. So, obviously, Shane and Dable, they're somewhat familiar with the guy. Okay. But he played 54 defensive snaps, okay, for the Jets last year in the final game in Buffalo. And he graded out a 73.2. So, 202 total snaps. All right. So, nothing huge, but, he played and, it's going to be, very, very good. All right. So apparently he's on the roster. All right. Let's see. The roster. The 4, they got Julian Love, Dane Belton, Xavier McKinney, and Jason Pinnock. as their 4 safeties. Okay, so very, very good. All right, so now the Giants, okay, they got okay, this is updated as of 8:30 tonight because there was different things going on. I mean, guys coming, guys going, guys are on the roster, guys are going to practice squad, guys are on the practice, let go from the practice squad. I mean, it's never ending, never ending. It's like, 1 hour at 4:00, you can have the 16 guys on the practice squad. An hour or so later, those 16, 4 of those guys are gone and 4 new guys come in. It's just freaking bananas. Okay. This says the Giants continue to shuffle a 53-man roster on Wednesday night. 4 vested players who were released earlier in the day to clear space for players claimed on waivers have been re-signed. Okay. Linebacker Austin Calitro, Tanner Hudson, and defensive lineman Nick Williams are back on the 53-man roster. They take the roster spots of the 3 guys that the Giants put on injured reserve. Okay. You got Shane Lemieux. Okay, I just can't seem to stay healthy. Darius Williams, who's recovering from, I think, is a torn ACL. And he came back, and he only practiced for like 4 days, I think it was, and then he's been out ever since. So possibly he came back a little too early. So, and then we got Ellerson Smith, okay, is put on the IR. So those are the guys that placed on it. 3 guys placed on the IR. Those guys have to miss a minimum of 4 games, okay. So, let's see here. What else we got? Smith there we go. Smith and Williams are second-year players who are expected to provide Ellerson Smith. Okay, yeah, and absolutely, especially Ellerson Smith and Darius Williams are, drafted them last year. Are supposed to at least add some good quality depth. I'm really anxious. I mean, Ellerson Smith was supposedly having a very good camp, and just once again last year he started camp injured, and then he started coming on. He started last year. He had it was the year of the hamstring, so he was one of the hamstringers last year, and he missed a boatload of time, right? So, but hopefully, whenever he come back from whatever's ailing him now, hopefully he can, he'll be all right. Let's see here. Now the Giants still apparently have one more roster move they need to make. Okay. What they got in this article here is the expectation here is that the Giants are trying to work a trade for Darius Slayton, which will also free up some salary cap room as well, too, because he's due to get $2.5 million. Now, the way to is strapped for cash that the Giants are right now, $2.5 million would be absolutely huge. Okay, they have a little over $5 million now. So what they got now, if they can get rid of Slayton, okay, and get like maybe, if they're lucky, a 6th rounder for him, okay, quite possibly a 7th round selection for him, right? That would save, the Giants would go up to maybe about $8 million. Now, the only other thing they could really do the biggest thing that they could possibly do, okay, would be to Leo the Lion. They could try to restructure his contract. I'm sorry. Now, the problem with that is, I don't know if he's in their long-term future, because they got to resign him. Okay. Are they going to want to resign a guy? I mean, because he's going to have to take a big hit in pay. I don't know if that's what is in the cards for him. I don't know if that's what he's going to want. The Giants going to try to restructure his contract and, re-sign him for an extra couple of years or so and kind of kick the can down the road a little bit, which is something Shane does not want to do. All right. So that's very, very interesting to see. They also have ways too where, you can maybe restructure his contract, and then, if the Giants were to do something like, they could literally let him go. All right. But they would still owe him some money. So there would still be some dead cap space, that the Giants would have to, pick up. So I'm not sure if they want to do that. But I mean, the biggest thing that they could do right now, if they want to try to get some extra salary cap space, would be try to restructure Leonard Williams' salary. especially for this season. All right, so I'm not sure they're going to want to do that. But if they get rid of Darius Slayton, okay, that would give them an extra $2.5 million. Okay, which would be, as I said, which wound up being huge. All right, now the initial practice squad players. Now this is going to change. I mean, pretty much almost by I don't want to say by the minute, but could almost literally be changed by the hour, especially when you got guys coming off the waiver wire and all, and you get guys being injured and everything, Yeah, this is going to change, might literally change every day. All right, but initially, okay, now this is, I believe it was updated at 8:15 tonight. So they got Davis Webb. They brought him back, which is very, very good, because not that, I don't want to say not that Dan Jones is a capable quarterback. He's a capable quarterback, but I'm not sure if he's going to be the quarterback of the future, right? But he has a tendency to get injured, which leads us to our backup. Love Tyrod Taylor. The dude can play on my team anytime. Absolutely love him. But he has a tendency of getting injured, okay? Now, Davis Webb, if he winds up being the starter, is not going to light it up, like he did in preseason, because in preseason he was playing against second, third, fourth stringers. He was also playing with second, third, and fourth stringers. All right, but he did a very, very good job. But he's familiar with Dable's offense and all, and so I think it was very, very important they got him back on the roster. Now, as I said, because the chances are, Daniel Jones might get injured. You get Davis Webb. You can just bring him behind Tyrod Taylor, okay? And then you still have two capable quarterbacks there, okay? It'll be a little bit better than what we had last year with Mike Lennon. All right. They also got 3 offensive linemen on the practice squad, okay? Will Holden, Garrett McGinn, and Roy Mbedeka. Then we managed to get Jashawn Corbin back, so that's cool. Got him signed. He's on the practice squad. That's good. Jaylen Moore. They brought back Jaylen Moore. All right. Very important. We got wide receiver / returner CJ Board. Okay. Alex Bachman-Turner overdrive. I'm not sure if they tried to get him back or not. I'd find it really hard that they didn't try to maybe ask him to come back. Especially, I think what I heard also was that he led the NFL in receptions in the preseason. He had 19 receptions. All right. The one game against Cincinnati was obviously huge. But I'm not sure if they asked him to come back or not. But he's not on their practice squad right now. Okay. They brought back tight end Austin Allen, okay, which is very, very good. All right, because and he was also the one he caught the touchdown pass from David Webb against the Jets. But if you'll hear the where are we at here? Now the Giants. Well, this is on. I got a NFL chart here. It says the Giants, their depth chart. All right, now the Giants. I don't know why they got a fullback. They got Chris Myrick listed as a fullback. All right, then they got Daniel Bellinger and Tanner Hudson. Okay, so they don't have a lot of experience there. All right, they don't have a lot of depth there either at the tight end position. Okay, so to keep Austin Allen, to get him to at least have a 4th tight end, okay, is very, very important. But I said, but that's something that they're going to have to address. I know it's not. I guess that big of a position maybe in the Dable offensive scheme. The Giants don't run a lot of 12 and 13 man, groups. But, it's something along the line. This is just year one. Joe Shane can only do so much with the money he's got and all that, everything. So maybe they might possibly draft another tight end next year to add to what they got with Bellinger, okay? Let's see. Then the Giants got the Ryder Anderson. They got him back. Okay, very, very good. And thankfully, I don't know how that happened, but they somehow managed to get Quincy Roche back. Now, it's going to be interesting to see who the Giants do wind up protecting. Okay, because you only protect, I think it's 6 guys. Got to forgive me. I knew last year. But I think it's 6 guys or 4 guys you can protect. Obviously, you can't protect all of them. You can't even protect most of them. So, I mean, it can be interesting to see who the Giants do protect. Okay, but somehow they managed to get Quincy Roche back, which is very good. Now, that's going to be important because you got to figure, right? Ellerson Smith's on the IR, and you got Azeez Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau. They're on the mend, all right? So hopefully they'll be ready for week 1, all right? But, if those guys keep getting dinged up, right, like they have, I mean, both of them, all right, have been coming off of separate injuries, So very, very good that the Giants got Quincy Roche back. Then they got 3 corner. It's very, very good because they got a lot of depth on the practice squad. I'm not saying phenomenal depth, right, but they got a lot of depth at cornerback, and they got 3 offensive linemen, but they also got 3 safeties. Okay, so there's a lot of depth in the cornerback and safety position on the practice squad, which is very important. All right. Because the Giants, especially the safety position, is very, very thin. All right. But at the safety position, the 3 safeties they got is Tony Jefferson, who just came over from the Ravens. All right. Trenton Thompson, who had a very nice, preseason. He got one of our 2 sacks, right? Nate Metters, who had an interception called back because of a penalty against the Jets. He's on the practice squad too. He's a safety. Now, the thing is with that interception, the ball was overthrown. It was kind of thrown right to Nate Metters. The reason why I think the ball was overthrown was because of the penalty, which was called. I think it was defensive. It was either defensive interference or defensive holding was called. So basically, the receiver who was supposed to be running the pass pattern that was supposed to go get the ball that was thrown to Nate Metters was either held or mugged or something or whatever. So he wasn't allowed to run his pass pattern. That's why the play got called back. It wasn't like Metters jumped in front of the pass or anything and picked it off or nothing. It got thrown right to him. But he had an interception, and he got called back because of a penalty. Then finally, the Giants got 3 the cornerbacks. All right, Zion Gilbert, Darren Evans, and Harrison Hand. Okay, but as I said, don't go stone cold banana crazy or nothing about like a lot of those guys because especially the cornerbacks. There's a reason why they're on the practice squad. All right, yeah. The Jets chewed us up pretty good in the passing game. So I mean, the Giants. Obviously, there's a lot of things the Giants are going to need to do moving forward after this year. There's a lot of positions that are definitely going to need to be upgraded, and cornerback is certainly one of them. Well, that's about 30, actually almost 33 minutes. A lot. I'll tell you what, every day, a lot going on, guys. You miss a day, you miss a lot. But as I said, anybody out there spend any time with me at all, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody's going to watch the replay of this, spend any time of your life checking out this video, I thank you so much. You guys absolutely freaking rock. And as always, guys, thank you so much for just spending some time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.